everybody. To begin the discussion, making the invisible visible. My name is Robert Knight. I'm the Associate Director at Youth Providence. I'm excited to be here today because we're going to have a discussion that's well overdue. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Just want to give a couple of thank yous. I'd like to thank everyone that accepted to be on the panel. You're in for a treat because they acknowledge of this work is incredible. So I'm sure they have a lot of incredible things to say. I'd like to thank Anthony Hubbard, who you will get a chance to meet later in this event. His vision and his determination for solutions and finding solutions is why we're here today. And is his vision. That's what motivates youth doing what we do. Like I said, I'm not going to he'll talk to you later today. I'd also like to thank our Youthville staff. Put your hands up, please. Youthville staff. These are the people that's in the trenches every day, doing the work that we do. And appreciate all the work that you do. Appreciate the Youthville students, Youthville Providence students. Tell you a little bit how this started. Every morning we have something called morning meeting. It's a time where we get together and we check in. We do a lot of different things. Youth Providence starts at 7:30 in the morning. So it's kind of hard to get young people motivated. We try everything. We have games, we do talent shows. Sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not as successful. But one day we had a discussion about middle school and what was going on in middle school and how young people mentally drop out of school in middle school. Physically, they drop out in high school, but mentally, they drop out in middle school. And our students were so engaged. They had so much to say. They have siblings that's in school right now that's going down that path, and they are looking for answers. So Anthony and I decided, you know what, we need to bring this to the forefront. We need to shine some light on this, and this is why we are here today. So as I said, this will be a wonderful event, a lot of good ideas. I'm so excited. I'd also like to thank Pastor McGregor, who's the Executive Director of the Providence Plan. Anthony and I always go to Pat with some crazy idea, and he never tells us, go forth and come back, let me know what happens. His attitude is pretty much, when's the meeting? He's always there with us. And Pat, we thank you for that leadership. Before we get started, they're up on the panel, you're on the panel too. So please, feel free, take notes at the end, have questions and answers. So anything you want to ask at that time. So at this time, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Director of the Providence Plan, Pastor McGregor.
Providence Plan has been the home to Youthville from the very beginning, organizationally, legally, financially. We wrote the first proposal that brought Youthville to Providence, hired the first director, Chin Martin from Boston, and have been supportive ever since. Under Anthony and Rob's leadership, the work of Youthville today is the most important work since we started. The diploma partnership with the Providence School Department, work around dropout recovery with the city and the state, and this issue today about calling it as you see it, identifying the issue, the challenges and opportunities facing boys and young men of color in this community and around the country. Our board is all in on this one and has said to me, has said to Anthony, has said to Rob, and some of you have heard this, that running high quality programs like Youthville Providence, as good as it is no longer good enough. That we have a responsibility and an opportunity to lift up what we have learned, to share it with others, and to make sure that the systems and the policies in this city and in this state get changed. So in Olneyville, 30, 40, 50 young people, and that is dynamite. But what about everyone else in the city and the state? So today what we're trying to do is figure out how to work with all of you to identify the barriers and opportunities and to make things happen. I look forward to the conversation. Thank you very much.
Before we get started, I know our students love to tweet, so please, we encourage you. The hashtag is YDPEDU. Once again, the hashtag YDPEDU. So to get started, let me introduce our moderator today. Very impressive bio. I'm not going to go over it, but you have it. But he knows the work, he understands the work, and he's ready to do the work. He has written a lot of interesting pieces, and this is why we asked him to be the moderator today. So please welcome Marco McWilliams.
Today we're going to engage in a broad conversation about how to address what we have identified as a problem. I'm going to put problem in air quotes. We did not want this event today, this panel today, to be a gathering where a group of really smart, handsome folk got together and had some coffee and tea and talked about a problem and then went home and said, wow, wasn't that a great conversation? We talked about the problem. The idea for this panel, for this event, was to organize ourselves, to organize our thoughts and get together to figure out some concrete solutions that we could then bring forward to begin to address this notion of a problem. Now, I'm saying problem in this way because when you see something that reproduces itself, that's what you call a system. And systems are never by accident, they are designed. That means that it is in someone's interest that we continue to see the deficiencies academically. We continue to see the gaps in the marginalization of our black men, our young black men, our future. And that's not just an issue for communities of color, but we are identifying this as a national issue. Because you lose the brilliant minds that end up otherwise doing other things that aren't as productive. And so we want to have this conversation today. Now, after I'll start, I want to say that though there's a panel up here, there are really 3 panels today, right? So there's this panel, and then there's another panel later on. But guess who the 3rd panel is? It's you. Okay, this is not just going to be folk talking to you, but we want to have a very robust and uninhibited dialogue with the 3rd panel. So during the Q&A session, organize your thoughts. Each table has some pens and some notebooks. Right, organize your thoughts, write down what you want to say, because we want to come out of here, we want to leave here today with something, okay? And if you haven't noticed or read already, we also want to talk about a soft launch of a committee, because somebody needs to be held accountable. And we're looking in the community, in the family, in the school, and the practitioners. We want to set all this up. So to start us out and talk about systemic change, what we wanted to do was just maybe go down the panel and have each of the panelists introduce themselves, give a brief introduction, and then we'll begin.
Good morning, my name is James. I'm a single father. Good morning, my name is James. I'm a single father, and I face daily some of the hardships and hard times as being a single father and raising child code.
Hello, I'm Ezra Sales. I go to Roger Williams Middle School, and I'm 12 years old.
Yes, good morning. My name is Courtney Marcus Correa. I'm a guidance counselor at Roger Williams Middle School.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Elijah Cruz. I am going to be graduating from UB Providence on the 27th of this month. I'm going to go on to college to major in social work and try to hopefully open my own business.
So the first question I would put forward to the panelists is maybe talk about, why don't we start with you, young grasshopper? Talk about some of the experiences that you have in school, the things that you encounter every day in your own life, and also some of the things that you see, happening with some of your friends and your other, comrades at school.
When I'm at school, I just see kids running down the hall.
Talk real loud into the microphone.
Playing
Use your
games,
outside voice.
being rude to the teachers, disrespecting them, swearing, and just being bad.
And when that happens, what do the teachers do? What does the school do? What kind of happens?
The teachers just sit there and say, call the principal.
Okay, so they say they're going to call the principal. Is there anything else that you notice that they do? Do they talk to the students, or if they do, what kind of things do you hear them say?
They tell the students, I'm going to call your parents and that you're going to be in big trouble.
Okay, all right. So they take a policing approach. All right. Some other folk on the panel. Some of your experiences in school with education, starting back in middle school.
Yes, I actually I work at the school that man's at. We do see a lot of disrespectful behavior, generally amongst young men of color. And our approach is to immediately contact the families. And of course, at the beginning of the year, we do get support from the families. But after time goes by, it's we become more of a burden. It's becoming why you constantly calling help. You guys need to fix it. It's not my problem, and so forth. So I think we have the parent engagement at first, but once that child continues to display those negative behaviors, it becomes a hassle for them, and parents don't want to come back into the building to reinstate their child, so forth and so on. So I think we need to be more of that positive communication between the parents throughout the entire school.
Yeah, I used to attend Roger Williams also, going to middle school. I was always constantly in trouble, always getting kicked out of class clown, just trying to fit in because I came from a well-structured elementary school that had a 6th grade installed into school. So going transitioning to middle school, and having passing time and all that, 6 periods a day, different teachers, students just beginning not to care no more because you have so much freedom. You can do anything you really want. And getting in trouble for it was, I guess, enjoyment at that time and excitement. But I don't think students should, continue to act up because it's going to lead them on a bad path once they enter high school.
I went to Nathaniel Green Middle School. I was very disrespectful to teachers, but my main focus in school was not schoolwork. I didn't even care anything about that. When I was in Green, the only thing that was affecting me was I had to get into a lot of fights. People would fight me for no reason, just to fight. And if you lose a fight, the only way that everyone to talk to you again was to get into another fight. So I was caught up in a lot of fighting. I didn't do any of my schoolwork. I would take out my anger on the teachers, be very disrespectful, be like the class clown, and I didn't really get anything done when I was there. I failed every year of my middle school year. They just socially promoted me. They let a lot of stuff slide. They let a lot of things go. So that was my experience at middle school.
Well, growing up in the 60s, I really didn't have too much guidance and stuff, so I pretty much did what I thought was right and hung around with bad influences. But today, man, I try to instill in my son, take advantage of the opportunities that is available for him, and being a single father, I just try to give him the guidance and the support and let him know that certain things in life you're going to have to deal with. And I find find, at this age and in middle school with the kids, it's a battle with, trying to find where you fit in and some of the things that you make. And sometimes you want to go through what you go through to get where you need to go, but, sooner or later you got to come to the point where you realize that, you got to do A instead of doing B. You got to stay on the narrow path, in other words, other than the right way. I try to instill that in my son. He's learning. Every day is not a good day, but I'm just making him aware of things that he's going to have to look into. And at the school, he comes on and says he don't want to go to school anymore. But I tell him, you got to go to school for the purpose of learning. You got to necessarily go there to make friends and stuff. Just go there and do what you need to do to get to the next level. But it hurts when he come on and say he don't want to go to school.
As a professional working in the school system, can you maybe talk more about, we've heard some of our students here raise the issues of discipline and anger and violence in the school system. Can you talk maybe more about how your particular school responds to that? You mentioned that, you contact the parents, and sometimes parents don't want to be involved in the right way to reinstate the student. They sort of push back on you. And I'm curious if you can talk about, as someone who works on the school side, what does the school do? What are the policies? What happens on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, so we have, obviously, based on the severity of the issue, we have different levels. We have a handbook that states what type of offense, calls for what type of sanction. But it first lies on, if it's an issue in the classroom, it lies on that teacher to then take obviously write it up, speak to that student, whether it's outside or after school, and also obviously contact the parents, like I mentioned. And then if it's a chronic offense, the next level is to bring them to bring it to the attention of the principal. And from that level, they can either receive a suspension, detention, which is either on a Saturday or after school detention, even less detention. And we also have something called Focus, which is what I'm a part of. I am a guidance counselor, but I am assigned to the Focus room. And that consists of, in most schools it's considered more of in-house suspension, but at my school it's designed a little differently. I come in and I run groups with the students, addressing things such as bullying, conflict resolution, trying to get them other tools to deal with their issues, and just pretty much just have that open dialogue, and constantly try to just reinforce that education is the key to success. And I tell them all the time, without education, they're going to struggle a little bit more in life. So pretty much, we don't want to just have them come into the Focus room and just say you did something wrong, just sit there and do your time. We want to make them understand that their negative behaviors are interfering with their education. We'll try to get them those tools to try to empower themselves and to move forward. Most teachers are pretty much on the same page in regards to discipline. We're here to support each other. So we are definitely trying to build that strong community and let the students know that we're here to support them. And other things we do, they may display negative behaviors, but our school also has a bad reputation. We are working very well with our student body and trying to improve things. A lot of teachers go out to students' events such as basketball games and community events and things like that. And I think that also bridges the gap and lets them know that that we're not just here to educate you and discipline you. We we also are a part of the community, we care about you. So I think that's also a part of our discipline, because we're constantly, making connections with them and trying to move forward.
Okay. Sound has been adjusted. So some of the terms and phrases that we see coming out of the conversation is chronic offense, discipline code, do your time in detention. And one would almost get the sense that we no longer talk about a school. I'm like a prison panel. I don't see any COs in the room out here. And so maybe we can, I'll throw this question out open to the panel. Because we already can see where that's leading, right? The connection, the notion of the school to prison pipeline is sort of already emerged without being explicitly stated. But I wonder if the folk on the panel can talk about how does school culture either contribute to issues of behavior, right, and discipline, either in a negative way, right, or how does it support it and sort of confront it? And I mean school culture, not just, well, this teacher does that and what the policy is, but what is the actual school culture? So if folk could maybe talk about that. It's open to anyone.
I don't know, being an African American,
You gotta talk directly.
being an African American in the school system today, and the culture diversity is like not only being hard on the teacher, but I guess it's hard on other students also. It's like it's just different cultures got different beliefs and ways of doing things. And some of us are traditional, might not agree with them, might not be able to see the point of view that they think is right, and we see it is wrong. And I think it's conflict.
I think it's like they figure that if they go to a bad school, they can act bad. They follow the reputation that goes with the school.
It's profound.
In my opinion, regards to culture, I'm in a school that's predominantly, the student body is predominantly, it's Hispanic, and then African Americans. And there's, the school faculty is total opposite. So I think that creates, that creates somewhat of a barrier for these students. I'm not saying that, a black or Hispanic child can only learn from a black or Hispanic teacher, but I think, it's hard for them to identify with certain things. So for example, when I walked into the building, as one of the only African American male teachers in the school, just like many of us, I feel as though I already get quote unquote cool points just because the color of my skin and what I look like, and the students gravitate more towards me right away because I look like them. I share the same interests. I actually attended that school as well as a student, and I'm from the community. And I think culturally, school culture, I think that needs to change. That would be great if that could change. I think it would be more beneficial to the students to be able to see someone that looks like them. I know myself going to that school. Students may disrespect teachers, but that one assistant principal who was African American man, no one disrespected, no one of color, just because he was black. Because we can relate. We weren't used to seeing someone coming to work with a suit and tie every day, going into a school building as an administrator. So I think that's definitely an important piece. I think if that part of it changed, that could be a great benefit.
To elaborate on what he's saying, when you have Hispanic and African American students, if they have a Hispanic or African American teacher who can relate to the struggles that they've been through and the problems that they face at home, because most likely that teacher has been through some of the trials and tribulations that the students going through, so they can relate better. That's probably why they show more respect to the African American or Hispanic staff members at the school. Plus, I was a Roger Williams student, so when you're locked up inside that building, there's cages on the windows, and it feels like you're an animal. So when they release them for passing time, that's why they go chaotic. I understand that. So we used to be doing, the most, throwing papers everywhere, throwing books, throwing desks. That's not cool. So it's just like, if you have respect for your teacher, everything will go a lot smoother. I think we should have more minority teachers that have been through the same struggles as students.
What I think is, many of the teachers just didn't understand. They would just see me as the kid that was acting up. They would get angry at me. They wouldn't take the time to listen to any problems I had. They didn't really know what was going on with after school, in the hallways. No one knew. There was a lot of bullying. Nothing. The teachers seemed like they were unaware, or they just didn't care. I think if the teachers cared more and understood more about what was going on, it would be a lot better for students, and realize that they're still kids and they're not adults yet at that age. And you gotta still treat them like kids at some points.
Yes, I just wanted to make one statement. I know myself as I am a guidance counselor at Roger Williams Middle School. This young man is a graduate from Roger Williams Middle School. This young man is currently in Roger Williams Middle School. And the gentleman over here was a part of the Providence School Department. I know we are stating a lot of things about, I mentioned Roger Williams Middle School, so these two gentlemen. But this is not just a Roger Williams Middle School issue. This is not a Providence School Department issue. We're going based on our experiences, because he's mentioned Roger Williams, because that's where we came from. But this is larger than just Providence and Roger Williams. So even though we're stating that, I just want to make it clear that it's a countrywide issue rather than just just
Well, the question of cultural responsiveness in teaching at the school, this notion of having teachers, having professionals in the building who look like the students, who come from where the students come from, who can identify on multiple levels with the experiences, the everyday lived experiences of the students. That is being critical and fundamental to not only their learning, but their development. And so I'm wondering if the panel can maybe talk a little bit more about why you feel that it was and is important in your educational experience. What does it feel like when you walk into the classroom and the teacher looks like you? You walk into the school and you see principals and other school professionals who can speak the language that you can speak and understand what you're saying. And conversely, what does that feel like when you don't? And we want to have a very candid conversation here today. We came here to talk, so let's talk.
Well, first let me state this. I was raised in in a two-family home, two-parent household. I was very fortunate. I was one of the only kids in my street that actually had a father, and a mother, but definitely a father that lived in this house. A lot of people looked at my father as, like, this is what a father's supposed to do. My father walked on the street and interacted with me. Students were just amazed by, our interaction. So with that said, I was very fortunate. However, I got, I'm somewhat successful, and it was all possible due to my high school English teacher, Miss Wendy Aronoff, and she is a white woman. And so even though I made those comments, she actually had me on check from day one. She believed in me, gave me the confidence, and definitely helped me succeed. She's been there through certain important milestones of my life, such as obviously graduating high school, graduating college, getting my master's degree. She spoke at my wedding, and as well as, she was the first person there at my father's funeral several years ago. So she's been an important piece of my life. But with that said, I knew right from wrong, having a father and a mother in the household. So I just needed a little bit more guidance, but I feel, maybe people that are, young people that are not as fortunate to have a strong household and family dynamic, that's where it comes to do. It's more beneficial to have someone that looks like a role model that they can relate to more. So even though I stated before that it was very important, I think I was a little, exception to the rule because of my strong family support. But I definitely think it's beneficial to have people that you can relate to. Walking into a classroom, even as a student myself, it was just I was in awe. Like, it's more than just being a basketball player that you see on TV. I grew up in the Michael Jordan era and seeing rappers on TV and actors here and there. Or every professional I knew of really was my father was a factory worker. Or more a blue collar type of work, and which is no knock to that. But I didn't see too many men of my skin color going into work with a suit and tie and a briefcase. So I think that's a very important piece because the sky's the limit, and it just reinforces that.
Thank you. Someone else want to speak to that?
Well, I guess all you can see, I'm a little older than money, and plus I'm from Virginia, and Spanish wasn't in my curriculum back then. So I can only imagine that the problem the teachers have and the students, going to somewhere trying to get information, and neither one understand each other. So it's good that they offer Spanish to American kids, because in bilingual, it's going to be like a very important future. I don't think it should be forced on the kid. Learn it.
What could make, what would or could make educational experience in school better as we look forward? Imagine that you were tasked with designing your own school. You just got $10 million, you build your own school. What would you do?
I would make the lessons more hands-on because, like, in my classes, kids get bored because they have to, do it by themselves and sometimes they don't understand it.
Okay, so hands-on, nice. He had an immediate answer. Put my hands on something. All right, thank you.
Yeah, pretty much just making everything more hands-on. I didn't really engage with my schoolwork until I went to UBL Providence because everything is hands-on and project-based. Having everything in a book and having to read and take notes, that's not for everybody. You know, some people excel at that, but some people just, they can't do it. It's not for them. So making everything more hands-on and more project-based, I think it will have a better effect, a positive effect on the school system.
Other student on the panel?
I would definitely make it smaller classrooms. I would also stop letting a lot of stuff slide. When I was in middle school, I had a lot of like write-ups, but a lot of times the write-ups I would never get called down for them or anything. I would also make make it more a safer environment, just have more teachers there and more staff than more staff ratio with the students. Also have control of the students and be aware of what they're doing, be after school and during school, what's going on in the hallways, and just make it a safer place.
Okay, thank you. Well, at this time, we want to start to transition to our audience panel. So we're going to open up the Q&A session. And Elijah, who's going to have a microphone, and he's really fast, he can get to you. Perhaps there was a question that we hadn't asked here on the panel that you feel like should be addressed. Perhaps you have a statement that you feel like needs to be further discussed. Perhaps you heard something on the panel that you would like to elaborate on. So we want to just raise your hand, and Elijah will get to you, and let's open up this dialogue. State your name.
Oh, hi. My name is.
Where you from?
My name is Melissa Husband, and I'm the Executive Director of Community Action Partnership in Providence. And I wanted to ask the question to the young gentleman on the panel. Based on the response you had about having a two-parent household and how that really helped you get through middle school and high school, etc., I'm wondering how your home lives affected your ability to make it through school.
I grew up without my father. My father was killed when I was real young, and my mom left away when I was in the 5th grade. So I didn't really have no, mother or father figure in my life. So it made me lack motivation in school because I was constantly just thinking about like, what's the problem and how can I fix it at that point. But that has a big toll on kids nowadays, even if you only have one parent in your household, because just having two parents in your house it's more motivation. It gives you more, energy at school, because you're gonna have that good, pat on your back when you get home from school if you have a good grade on your test or something. And not having that just made me not want to do no schoolwork. It wasn't a place for me. I felt like I needed to be somewhere where that I had love and cared for me, and school wasn't the place.
You have a hand up over here. Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Good morning. My name is Sheila Ressiger, and I really appreciate all of the panelists here. I'm a retired teacher from the Rhode Island School for the Deaf, and this past year I've been volunteering at Roger Williams Middle School in an 8th grade English class of ELL students. And my main concern as a teacher is the nature of the curriculum materials that the teachers are really forced to use. They're scripted materials. They're not appropriate for the students, what their literacy needs are. They're disengaging. And most of the students, they don't do their homework, and I think it's because they really don't know how to do it. They need more support to do that particular type of task, and it's not, it's not the engaging task that they really need to progress. Just to tell you an example, they have a double period of English every day. So I'm only in the one period. All year long, almost the entire school year, that one period every day, they were reading short passages on extreme weather. This is in their English class. Supposedly learning strategies for comprehending passages that they will be exposed to on the testing. This is not a way to teach. what I'm very concerned about.
Thank you. Nicole, just before you speak, I think she raises an important question of curriculum, and that may be something that we want to talk about and get back to at some point. Very, very important.
Oh, you don't want to? Ooh, hey. This makes me want to freestyle. What y'all want over there? I'm up here to talk about. First of all, I'm happy to be here, and I'm mainly here for the young people. So I want y'all to sit up straight when I'm talking, because that's how I am. I'm old school. To the young people, it's about accountability. I think a lot of you out there need to hold these teachers accountable, because your teacher can be blacker than me and not be down for the cause. So let's not get the color thing mixed up, okay? Some of the whitest of white people have supported me to the fullest. So don't let your teacher fool you and get that cool point or that pass because they speak another language or they have a darker skin. So you as the young people, hold your teachers accountable. See who's coming to the basketball games. See who's gonna come to the hood. See who will come to the alley, through the alley with you, or come to Chad Brown or Harvard. Those are the teachers. The ones that are there after 4:30, they don't get on the highway and head down 95. The ones that are there after everybody's gone and the cameras are gone and so on and so forth. Those are the people. Those are trusted adults. Those are the people in your life that you want to keep close to you. So although yes, this is an important discussion about color, but it's also an important discussion about accountability.
Hi, my name is Danny. I'm from Youth Building in Bedford. It's not all about just like Massachusetts or whatever. It's everywhere. Like I'm a military. I'm a military brat. My mom moved everywhere. We always moved. Lived in New York, Germany, Texas, Missouri, Washington. And after all those schools I've been through, it's not all about how oh, this one state is just gonna be like the same. It's everywhere. Like I see disrespect in every type of school I went to. Comes to desks thrown at people, comes to books thrown at teachers, and it's not all about just the students. It's because of the teachers at the same time, because they don't know what they go through, and they just keep on pushing. They keep on pushing the students, thinking it's all right. Like okay, like if you're going through the struggle, just work on just pay attention to your work. It's not all about that. You got to give them time. Like if the teachers actually been through what they've been through, maybe they can have they can understand the students, and they can just like help them out, because they already know that they've been through the struggle. They already know I didn't pay attention to school because my mom been in Iraq, and my dad never been there for me, so he never it was not like I had somebody that can tell me, yo, pay attention to school, do your thing in school, don't worry about other people. Especially I had to worry about, I just stick to the streets. But now I'm in youth build, now I actually see that teachers are caring, they actually been through the struggle. It's not all about color, because I have teachers that's black, white, tan, whatever. It's like, they've been through the struggle as well. So they know yo, just worry about school. They tell me yo, I've been through this, I've been through that, I've been through the same thing, but then next thing you know, they tell me they be there for me. They actually have somebody to talk to, and I actually have somebody that can tell me yo, they can actually care for me, and they don't have to worry about me going back to the streets. Because I don't if I was somebody else, I see so many people just come to the program and then they just leave because they can't handle it. But I'm actually glad that I'm actually here. I actually been here for 4 months. I actually left the streets. I actually quit smoking. I did what I had to do just to get my GED, just to get a job, and they actually helped me out with that. So.
Hi everybody. My name is Claudia, and I work for the Harvest Kitchen, which is a youth empowerment and job training program that's part of Farm First Rhode Island, and I work with adjudicated youth. And I'm very happy to be here. I guess I kind of have a question, kind of feeding off what everybody's saying so far about teachers being able to relate to the students and it not being so much an issue of, well, I think it is, I guess there's 2 points. Like, it is important that we bring more diversity into schools as far as like administration and faculty. But also, besides that, I have a question about whether faculty go through a diversity training. So, like, to be more culturally, have more cultural humility and understanding of what the students go through on an everyday basis, the biases that they have to endure, and yeah, so kind of more of a question as far as like inside the schools, like do they do diversity trainings for staff, and how does that work? If that is available.
Somebody want to speak to that in the panel?
This is going into my next school year will be my 3rd year in the school system. And so far, I have never been a part of any diversity training. Not to say it's not there, but I'm not aware of it.
5 minutes.
Good morning, my name is Mike. I'm a teacher at Youthville Providence. My question is mostly to the father there, James, and to Courtney. What type of things are done to try and engage parents and or the community into the school, and what effect do you think that some type of programming that did that would have on student engagement or the culture within your school?
Well, I think if they had some more programs implicated towards the parents and stuff. I was a PTO president at my son's last school for 2 years, and parent participation was like very low. And I think that if the schools were to implicate more, like this is my first time heard about the youth bill. You know, it sounds like a perfect program, and I'm gonna look more into it to get my son involved. I think if the schools will put it out and let the parents know more about it, and actually that's a good program.
We actually have, we have a lot of programs every year after the school day, trying to engage parents to come in. We have, we send out connect phone message to every home, trying to get parents involved. And we have teachers that go out and get food donated from local restaurants in the neighborhood. And we have all this food, we have a lot of teachers there, and we don't have many students. we don't have many parents that show up. There's been times where I've been at this event personally, and we had probably 20, 30 staff members and 2 parents that show up at a time. We have all this food. We try to engage them, we can just sit down and have dinner and just talk. We have like movie nights and things like that. We try to just engage the entire family. And like I said before, I think the school would be a totally different place if we had more parent engagement. I think that's why other districts are a lot more successful, or districts that are successful is mainly based on parent engagements. I want to believe in the old saying, it takes a village. We need parent involvement as well as community involvement, and I think that's the main component to be successful in education.
All right.
Good morning, my name is Matt Buchanan, an aspiring principal. Hopefully the word aspiring will be going soon, but to be a principal, obviously somewhere in the hood, as a graduate of Roger Williams Middle School and Central High School. But I want to really talk about self-respect really quick. Kobe talked about accountability. It is up to you guys to get your parents at the schools as well. We're not that, I have a parent of 2, we're not that busy. If there's a parent meeting, they need to know about it. So as you, as students, let your parents know, Mom, Dad, I need you there. You need to tell them. Just like we have to hold teachers accountable, we need to hold the parents accountable. They need to be there. If you have 3 kids at home, bring all 3 of them. If the schools can accommodate that, then check the schools. The next thing is the self-respect. In order to get respected, young men, I'll talk to young men first, you gotta put your damn pants up. Gotta put your pants up. Show some respect. Whether you have a mom at home, a dad at home, someone at home who's taking care of you, you gotta show some respect. The teachers are not gonna respect you if you can't put together a sentence. Dropping an N-word every other word, swearing, holding your pants down. You gotta be able to play both sides of the field. I feel like I can go in any community without, it's a time and place to wear jeans and a t-shirt, not today. Sorry, I didn't know that was professional, so I apologize for today. But the difference between bagging and sagging is there's a huge difference between baggy pants and saggy pants. You need to be able to wear a button-up with jeans and shoes, a button-up and a tie to really get the respect you need. Now, granted, you guys are in uniform, I get that. But even uniforms, we don't need to see the color boxes you have, we don't need to see the color basketball shirt you have on. You don't need to have the flyers, J's all the time. Show yourself some self-respect and some dignity if you really want to get respect. I don't make the rules up, I just play it. I don't make up the rules. But if you want respect, you got to be able to go in any community and have a conversation and advocate for what you want. But please, make sure you hold your parents accountable. There's a parent meeting, let them know they need to be there.
Elijah, I see a couple of hands right there.
That's going to be it.
I wrote down one thing that was said on the panel, and it was Ezra, who said, if you go to a bad school, you can act bad. And so I'm wondering, all of you who went to school, does everybody know that's a bad school, that's a good school? If it's a bad school, why are you there? And is it okay to be bad in bad schools? And is the deal already cut before you even walk in the door?
We'll take one more question from the audience.
Hi, my name is Anna, the director of the Latino Policy Institute at Roger Williams University. I just want to congratulate you all for your words, for your challenges to us and to yourselves, and also offer, I'm my other hat, I'm the chairwoman of the Central Falls School Board. And in Central Falls, the issue of parent engagement has been such a priority for us because it's the only thing, to your point, Mr. Correa, that has gotten Central Falls High School to a much better place today. With the recommitment of our educators and our administrators and our community leadership, it's not just the school, it's the nonprofits like Progreso Latino, like Children's Friend, like the Institute, like great leaders like Kobe. It's everybody saying it's a priority. Granted, Central Falls is this tiny little place in Providence right now, which we're focusing on, just by the fact that you all have something to do with the Providence Public Schools is much bigger. But we asked our parents, what do you want? They didn't want movies. They didn't want pizza. They didn't want carnival. They wanted to go to college. They wanted a job. They wanted a skill, a certificate, something that they can do to better themselves in order to be there for their children and to make more money and to keep their apartments and to keep their health insurance. And so the traditional things that we have done, just because that's the way we've always done them, with good intentions, we had to scrap and say, okay, now it's more work to do that, because we had to go around college, we had to go to other places and say, our parents, they want to take a college course along with their child. So sometimes we need to ask our people, what do you want? Instead of assuming that they want this when they really want something else. We also had many a night when we had a lot of food and a lot of stuff and no parents would show up. So we just invited the kids, because sometimes they're their own parents. We got a lot of kids living by themselves. And sometimes it's just celebrating them and knowing, you know what, you don't have a mom, you don't have a dad, but you got us. And you can spend the evening here in Central Falls High School. The last thing I want to say is restorative justice. I don't know if you all are trying that, doing that, thinking about that at Roger Williams Middle School or Providence Public Schools, but restorative justice is a movement, it's a culture, it's a different way of life. So it's not just about the punitive ramifications of bad behavior, it's about why did you do what you did? And how can I be a better person and live beyond that mistake? You should be able to make mistakes in your own community and not have to be the outcast. So just food for thought, restorative justice.